Hey everyone, we are Team 20. In this presentation, we want to walk you through the way we did the prioritization of agricultural production lines or crops using clustering and classification techniques. We hope you enjoy it. So, ADR is the agency responsible for managing, promoting, and financing agricultural projects. They also offer services to make the land more productive and improve the living conditions of rural people. Each year, ADR calls for co-financing agricultural projects, and they also decide on which variables are those projects going to be evaluated in order to generate a greater impact in the field or at a national level. That being said, we can now go to the fun part, which is to talk about data science. So the idea of our project was to help ADR define which project should be selected for the next 2 years. And the way we did this is that we analyzed some project variables such as number of beneficiaries, location, yield, productivity, and crop, but we also included some external variables such as consumer price index and exports. So we really chose this project because we know if we help ADR with this decision, we're not only making a financial impact, we're also making a social impact that in times like this is what really helps our country. So some cool facts about our data is that we know Colombia is known for its coffee, but surprisingly, coffee wasn't in the top charts of our project. We analyzed over 1,000 projects with 71 different crops from all the areas of Colombia, and what we found is that sugarcane is the crop with the highest yield, and that ADR has been financing mostly projects on banana, yuca, and avocado. So in this slide, you definitely have a hint of what ADR should be prioritizing for next year. The way we approach our analysis is that first we did some basic clustering. We wanted to see how projects group together and what attributes those groups had. Then, with the help of ADR, we ranked those clusters from the highest to lowest probability of selection, given what we'd have learned from their attributes and the external factors. Next, we wanted to be able to say if a project was going to be successful or not, and the way we did this is that we trained a random forest algorithm to classify a new project into one of the clusters we had defined before. Having developed our model, we now needed a way to show stakeholders our results, so we developed a web dashboard using Dash. In this dashboard, we show some basic ADA of all the projects, but we also show some graphs with the crop yield, CPI over time, co-finance money, and exported tons. You're now seeing a demo of the dashboard, and the really cool thing about our dashboard and what we really like the most is that it gives the user the opportunity to understand the cluster. A user can pick a cluster and evaluate all the variables that are within that cluster. So it is a really practical and informative way to show our results. And now ADR knows the results of our analysis, but what about the farmers and associations? So what we did is that we developed an Android mobile app that was able to gather the exact same information we use for our clustering and random forest analysis. So imagine you're a farmer and you are now given the opportunity to test your project before you go to the ADR. That's the real objective of our app. What we wanted to do was to give them a tool to assess their project to know if it was going to be selected or not. So the app gathers all the information we need to run our model, such as location. You see here in the demo we are asking for location and some other legal questions that are really important for ADR. We also ask about crops, which is a key part of our model analysis. We also asked about another variable such as number of beneficiaries and type of project. After all the information is gathered in our app, we are able to run the model and give the farmer a probability of selection. We also present them with some information about crops in their location and about ADR, and we even prompt them to ADR official website if they want to know more. One thing I want to talk about is that we are really happy with the work we did. I mean, we went from fitting a model to developing web and mobile apps, so we're really proud of the work we did. This was a really complete and comprehensive experience. However, there are some things we would have done differently, such as exploring new algorithms and talk to more people within ADR. I mean, it would have been cool if we had more different perspective on the business. And with the app, it would have been cool if we had the chance to introduce it to real farmers and association and test it with real projects. That way, we could have real feedback and improve our app. And lastly, we would like to publish our app in the Google market just to get to know the whole experience. And lastly, for those of you who are interested, we now know which lines should be prioritized for the next 2 years, which are plátano, yuca, and aguacate. And this is not only because of the numbers of projects, but because of the yields of those crops and also by the number of people those crops can benefit. We now know ADR can use external factors to evaluate their project, which was something they weren't taking into account when evaluating them. We are really eager to see what ADR thinks of our project and to develop a conversation with them in order to help them, but also to exercise our ability to do data science within practical and real-life projects. Overall, we really enjoyed our project. We are now convinced that getting out of the textbooks is the real way of learning. This applicative learning we know is very strong and is an essential part to disperse data science knowledge in Colombia. We hope you had enjoyed our presentations. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or doubts, you can contact us. Thank you.